What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened. The Goblin Mech Boss April update for early access did arrive this past week, and although it did bring us the Endless Spires, which has been getting just a ton of play, we also now have the Goblin Mech Boss. So here we are in Nightmare Hardcore Throne Room. Now, this is one of the real challenges with early access, is you don't get to experience the game in its natural format of progression. Obviously, with the Goblin Mech Boss being an Act 2 boss, and Nightmare's been out for a little while, most early access players are seriously overgeared for the challenge at hand, and we lose some of that feeling that a player will get with the full experience after the game is launched. However, there is nothing that's going to keep me from playing Dungeon Defenders Awakened right now in early access, so here we are at the Goblin Mech Boss. Now, this is, of course, a returning boss from the original Dungeon Defenders, and still a fun little event in a really gorgeous-looking map. So let's go ahead and get things started. I think we're going to start off with just gas traps and explosive traps. We might have enough time and mana to get some auras down as well. Let's see here. I'm just going to basically overpower it here and do some aura stacks, some DSTs, kind of the go-to nightmare goodies that we're using right now. We got 14 seconds left. I do have a DPS hero in my deck already, so I'll be good to go in that regard. In 6 seconds, we're not going to be able to get them both down, so let's just switch to our DPS and burn through wave number 1. Now, of course, this boss has that sweet spot similar to the Siege Roller in DD2. Maybe that is where that Siege Roller inspiration actually originally came from. But he's going to have the vent open up on his back, and that is the sweet spot for the Goblin Mech Boss. Now, I obviously, like I said, I'm overpowering the content. It's going to be easiest to hit that sweet spot if you're in a group. So if you're in 2 players, you can have one person turn the Goblin Mech around while the other person just sprays into its backside. And that's a pretty darn good way to get the job done here. See, let's go ahead and go with another Strength Drain aura, and then we're just going to do some DSTs, trying to cover all 3 lanes if possible here, really. Get rid of the tooltip. 6 seconds left. Let's just go ahead and switch over and start up the wave. Definitely a fun boss. I'm looking forward to getting that Summit Dragon, and then hopefully, you know, I don't want to read into it too far, but I'm hoping down the road, whatever that big thing is in the back of the launch trailer kind of seems reminiscent to a Great Old One type of fight. I don't want to get myself too excited thinking we're going to have an enormous boss fight like that, like in Dungeon Defenders 1, but that would be pretty darn cool. So the big guy in the back on the launch trailer itself leads to a little mystery. We're wondering what is up with that dude. So wave 2 here, it is moving right along. Kind of easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like I said, it's one of the challenges of early access, is even doing it on the hardest difficulty. We've just had Nightmare and Hardcore available for enough time now to really grind out some decent sets of Nightmare quality gear. So it makes this boss just a complete steamroll, the map itself, all the campaign maps, just a complete steamroll. But, you know, that's just one of the downsides of playing an early access title, is you don't get to feel that full progression. Now, once the game does launch, I will be doing another fresh start playthrough on my alt account. I'm going to try to find a way to get that account wiped, if possible. Maybe I can corrupt the save file. Chromatic will love to hear me say that, but any way I can get that account wiped where I can do a full progression playthrough once the game is in its final form, I will definitely be looking forward to doing that. Let's see, that is a ton of DSTs. That's probably enough DSTs just to kill him right there. I guess we'll have to see how the bunches are. Now, I have done this map several times already and killed this guy a bunch of times. However, I did want to do a full playthrough here on the YouTube channel of what I'm doing to farm the boss. Now, we've got the same predicament here that we have with the Demon Lord, and that is the quality of the weapons dropping are just lower than the quality of weapons that we would get doing Nightmare Hardcore Survival. So sadly, although there are special weapon drops associated with this boss, they're not going to be worth using for the majority of players here in Early Access that have already progressed past this point in difficulty through their personal experience. Just about there. Wave 3 almost done. Still got to get me a little dragon farming. The update and the change to the maximum attack damage for a pet definitely brings pets into the picture a little bit more. You can actually get incredible results out of a dragon, of course. I've got a pretty darn good... I've got several pretty darn good DPS pets now, and I'm anxious to go through those, but since most of those had upgraded already, we're going to have to farm some freshies, and my RNG luck has been just terrible. Let's just go ahead and start the next wave. I don't think we're going to need to get any upgrades or anything in. And of course, we got to complete it before we get the Goblin Mech roll on out. I'll try to get a shot at his vent. It's difficult to get behind him solo because he does like to spin. So, easiest in a group, no doubt. If you're just progressing through to this point in the game, definitely bring a friend, and it makes your life so much easier fighting this boss here. The full frontal approach and just burning them down is the approach I've been taking, but being in an overpowered state compared to the current difficulty of the game means I can do that. So I'm excited to see how challenging this will be as a new player once the game launches and I can do that full progression run through again. And still just one more wave, but we'll get to that boss here at some point. I could even throw an ensnare right here. Or do I want an ensnare? This is where the boss lane will be. We see the little rift up top opening up. I think I'm just going to throw an ensnare right here too. Why not? Alright, let's get it. Wave number 5. So we've got to clear the wave first, and then the boss will come, similar to, you know, other boss fights in Dungeon Defenders. Making sure to take care of these helicopters. DSTs are making pretty light work of everything, and then all the little guys that are just spawning right on top of my auras there are just getting smoked. So easy peasy lemon squeezy so far. Hopefully we can get a good shot at that vent before I have to go and just manually kill the mech boss here. One of the challenges getting behind him solo is there's just going to be a ton of mobs right there. So although, you know, obviously you can run behind him very easily, but there's going to be a bunch of mobs you have to watch out for because, you know, just by instinct, we always want to try to get to that sweet spot and start smoking the boss just as quickly as possible. Hoping I'll be able to get him turned around, but I'm assuming he is probably going to aggro to me right away. And having my little dragon go ham. In fact, maybe I should... Or I can't swap the dragon out now. If I would have thought about that in advance, I probably would have brought my propeller cat instead. And we've got some lovely new cutscenes to go along with it, and we will be able to watch them as well. Just about there. 50 mobs left and some change. Just need them to come out and march to their doom. And there we go. So 30-second timer on the boss. Let's burn through that. And here we go. The Technological Terror. We'll be able to see that vent really good. There's the vent right there. You see it opening up. That is the sweet spot where you want to be shooting them. Like I said, when you're playing solo, sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge to get behind him because he's just instantly going to turn to try, you know, to track you along. And obviously, he doesn't want you shooting him in his sweet spot. Nobody wants to just reveal it right up front, you know what I'm saying? The DSTs are wrecking them now. And there we go. There's the clean shot to the vent. Now, obviously, like I said, at this state of the game, you don't have to go through all that. I was putting that out there more for anyone who is just getting started in the early access and is having a problem. But you want to shoot them into the open vent to do the maximum amount of damage there. And that will burn him very quickly if you don't have a DPS character. But for anyone that's already in Nightmare gear, just go shoot him in the face. It's all good. So that is the Goblin Mech Boss. We should have another cutscene to look at. Let's check it out.
With the throne room in shambles, the four contemplate their victory over the Goblin army's corrupted mechanical contraption. A loud humming is heard by each of the heroes. As if in a dream, the Grandmaster appears to each of them. She explains that they are fighting inner demons unlocked by the Old One's attack from within. Should they fall to these hordes, the Old Ones will gain a new, unstoppable force. The heroes of Etheria. In order to awake from their control, they must attain certain victory over the battles that await them.
And that actually gives us a little additional look into where the story is going in Dungeon Defenders Awaken. But that will do it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. I will be back soon with some more Dungeon Defenders in all its forms. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.